Social media is not what you think it is. It never was. And much like technology, which I've often said is our greatest asset and our greatest detriment at the same time, it's great that we can communicate with professors in China or frankly, a war hero in Colorado. That is what technology affords us. But at the same time, it's very detrimental on our growth. It creates more of a robotic-like populace, which is obvious.
We're a mess.
And then you see what it does on social media with this perception that everybody has these amazing followings, and how did they get them? Is it even real, or is it astroturfed, or are they just bots? Well, if there's one thing we learned from, sorry, but always have to call out the Krasenstein brothers, this is astroturfing, this is bot farming, this is everything that you can think of. Only now it's much more obvious because so many of these accounts that people believed were bigger than they actually were, more influential than they actually were, or even real versus being manufactured.
We can't believe any of it. I've been saying, look, I think the entire K-Hive was manufactured. I think Pete Buttigieg was manufactured. Like, I don't think a lot of these support systems that we've been seeing, I don't think a lot of it's real.
Well, again, Buttigieg is much more of an obvious example because at least with Kamala, she was somebody who was the DA. She was a senator. She did become the vice president. Buttigieg was a mayor of a small town plucked out of obscurity, then somehow got pumped $25 million up his bottom and became, and I'm talking about $25 million specifically for the state of Iowa in 2020.
Yeah.
So you can't convince me that there is, and on top of everything else, he's not that impressive.
No, but you're making it be like somehow that's a contrast between them. I would suggest it's pretty much the same thing. These are like the Spice Girls of politics. These are people that are groomed to be in a certain position to help the Democratic Party raise a certain amount of money, and they project a certain image that appeals to those donors.
Yes.
And they have the DEI that they need to impress the people that think that that's what makes them all woke.
Well,
so, I mean, there's that. But no, she is very much a fiction. I still can't for the life of me fathom how she got to be the attorney general in California, and she can't seem to think off the cuff. Like, she can't just have a conversation without it being a word salad. How is that a litigator? So this is someone who I think was very much pushed along the path, if you will.
Yeah, and I would also say that because obviously the central focus here is what we were able to discover, and it should come as no surprise that it's a two-layer story here. It's the fact that Elon decided to implement a new tool, if you will, to X. Not a surprise. And I definitely agree with citizen Pendejo. Laura Loomer is astroturfed all the way to Saturn. Well, she's astroturfed by the very people that apparently are running the DHS. And I know you have a very strong opinion about Christy the Gnome. Christy the Gnome, let's just call her that. Because
here's the problem with that, okay? I really like gnomes. And it bothers me to no end that like now I affiliate that with gnomes, because gnomes didn't do anything to be affiliated with that piece of shit. Yeah. So it bothers me, but yeah, go on.
I debated who I thought would provide the best context for this particular issue, but more than any other one, we have learned that several of these accounts, for example, there is a huge pro-Israel account called Vivid on X. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. It's got hundreds of thousands of followers and pumps up everything pro-Israel, like Iyal Yacobi, who I've pointed out time and again. Only it turns out that this person, Vivid, is not who they say they are. They're not Israel. They're not here. They are actually some Indian guy in Bangladesh. So, shocker. Now, for whatever reason, this tool was implemented, and all of a sudden, all of these accounts started getting picked off left and right. Who exactly do they belong to? Who exactly are they representing? Well, guess what? They're not representing the United States. So, a
That was a very lengthy introduction, my friend. Can we have some general context?
Hunter Howell is going to provide it for us. Here we go.
Okay.
Say will probably guarantee me an early grave, but fuck it, you need to know the truth. My name is Hunter Howell. I would never harm myself, and I have a document right here that proves the United States government committed treason against the American people. This document is no longer on the internet. It's since been scrubbed. So it'd be a shame if you shared this with as many people as possible to get the truth out there, because it's a very high chance they take this video down as well.
We're going to try.
Here's what this says, okay? It's a screenshot of the Department of Homeland Security's X account. There was a new feature that came out recently that talked about where it showed in the world where accounts were stationed in. So the USA Department of Homeland Security, their account is based in Tel Aviv. I'm not being satirical. I'm not fucking joking. Our Homeland Security account is based in Israel. When people were questioning them about it, they responded with a meme of the president looking surprised. And for those of you saying it's fake, there's another document here that I'll read to you, because someone asked AI to analyze what was going on the internet, and it's confirmed. Yes, the DHS account briefly displayed location as based in Israel during a new feature rollout, possibly due to a glitch or IP data.
Oh.
That's AI's explanation of it all. It just possibly a glitch.
Just a glitch. That's quite a convenient glitch. I mean, a glitch in all things, but that's what it shows. No.
And then immediately they pull the entire feature down.
Right.
They stop. They remove the bug and say, okay, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So
we don't want people to know where we're actually based out of. But what does this prove, Peter? What does this prove? What I have been saying all along.
We are Israel and Israel is us.
They are not a separate entity. So there's no breaking ties with them. They are us, we are them. Case in point.
Well, the only way that we break ties with Israel is through revolution. Like,
right, but it's not breaking ties with Israel. What it's doing is the Zionist state will cease to exist.
That
will happen along with the United States no longer being the global hegemon.
That's true. That's happening no matter what. That's true, but that's happening no matter what. It's to anybody who is understanding what we're living through right now is a revolutionary change. This is happening whether you want it to or not. And we're going to get, we rarely ever go back into the well on a particular Zio scum, but Sarah Horowitz made it her mission in life to make it so this weekend. So she will be dealt with again later on. As some of our friends on other channels have suggested, she is the best and worst spokesperson for the Zio cause.
Oh, I think she's great.
Oh, yeah. No, I have no complaints. What this is showing us, though, more than anything else, I remember how I felt back in the summer of 2015 when the senator from Vermont was talking about certain things that I was not understanding. I think the light bulb gets turned on and you start thinking, oh, it really is an oligarchic billionaire class that is running this country. Now, it obviously took time to realize how much the Israel connection actually played a substantial role, going all the way back to Jack's assassination. But it is painfully obvious now, whether it's by accident or intentional, because let's be honest, there are people that work in the State Department that see what's happening and they want to expose this for the world to see.
So this is very interesting. But so now they not only took this down, but somebody tapped Elon on the shoulder and was like, yeah, we don't want people knowing where everybody is based out of. We don't want that.
But you've already let the cat out of the bag. Yeah, but you've already let the cat out of the bag.
Well, with this one, with this particular account, so you think it would be better if more accounts got exposed for being wherever they are?
Well, that's why people screenshot, they document it. That's why Mr. Howell here says, I am not suicidal.
Exactly.
It's amazing. You know, I think in some respects, I mean, especially if and when we cross that 100,000 mark and we are officially an actual player in the game, since Google will have to acknowledge our existence with a plaque.
Let's hope we can make it that far before they cut us off, you know?
In more ways than one, yes. I am not suicidal. I actually intend to live a long life. Jen, not so much, but you're not suicidal.
But
we'll finish it up.
And you can't see it anymore. My call to action, file tax exempt. Share this video with hundreds of people, not just 5 of your friends, with everyone you know. You need to know this document right here could, quite literally what I'm saying, could be the end of me. But you need to know that our government is committing treason and that the way to fight back peacefully is by filing tax exempt. My name is Hunter Howell. I'm sending you my love. Please protect me by 3 buttons over here.
So on the one hand, it's infuriating, but technically, you know, like on paper, it appears like it's treason, but it really isn't, right? Because they are us. They are an appendage of American empire, of U.S.
Well,
empire.
but they shouldn't be.
Well, correct. Like that's the big sort of like aha moment. But to say it's treason when we're with them, it just isn't, because technically they only exist because of us. So they are an appendage of us.